well on the Hunt Tour side. Also, real quick announcement been meaning to remind you guys about, at least, is we are doing top 10 play submissions. We're taking top 10 play submissions for this event specifically. We're definitely trying to kind of get back in that mode once again. Scyther, you may have heard of him. We've been showing some of his videos. He's actually working with us currently to put together a DreamHack Summer qualifying edition top 10 plays. And you guys at home, even you viewers, even if you're not playing in the event, any big plays you see from matches you're watching on Honcast or even other matches you happen to watch replays of or whatnot, if you submit those plays, there's a chance not only you could get it chosen for the top 10 plays, but you could even win some gold coins as a result if it is chosen. So all that information is on the Haunt forums under the competitive section, as well as the HauntTour.com website. There is a post up about it as well. So just a quick reminder about that. Anyways, moving along with this game. Parasite Ophelia going to be the blind bands coming out for BLZN. Ophelia, Keeper of the Forest, coming out here for LEFU. Torturer, followed by the Bubbles lock, and there's the Rally lock.
So in the previous game, both teams had banned out Keeper of the Forest. I believe one team banning out Ophelia, one team banning out Tempest. Tempest is slipping through here. So far, neither team actually choosing to put him in that lock pool, though. I'd like to see him go without getting locked up here. I like seeing the games and the mix-up of lineups and the aggression when junglers are not present. So hopefully we'll see him slip through here. Meanwhile, Torture locked up right away. I can't imagine with Rally in this lock pool either. They're going to be looking not to ban Master of Arms here and grab him again, and as long as Tempest isn't locked up, they can grab that Rally first out of the lock pool, knowing they have a very, very sound lineup. Or they might just want to say, screw it, we want something else. We have a different idea in mind and taking the Master of Arms out. Although if I were first pick for them, I wouldn't even touch it. Leave it in the pool. Let the Hellborn team decide what to do with it.
Let them make that decision and be fine with it, adapt to it in the end. So we'll see what that decision is. Fat is here, the captain for LEFU. He's looking to determine who the final lock is going to be, putting some thought into it. You see, as always, especially cases like this, plenty of shout-outs going about between the teams. Wretched Hag going to be the final lock coming out here. So a very strong lock pool, especially with a lock pool like this. Knowing that two of those are not going to get picked up, you can say, in a sense, kind of some side bans on two of those heroes as well. Speaking of real bans, Moon Queen banned right off the bat from Rifle. Obviously, still Moon Queen a very valuable hero, even after receiving some of those early game nerfs with her Moonbeam in the terms of the mana cost of it. So
I will say, though, you do have to be more careful in her laning, too. Yesterday, I actually saw a Bubble scope against a Moon Queen in a matchup, and remember beforehand in cast when we first began to see Moon Queen when she was being picked up, Truff had commented that he even thinks she has a tough time in laning a lot of those 1v1s. Even a hero like Bubbles can do very, very fair against her, especially given the fact that the mana cost increased. On top of the fact that the stun lasts longer, it makes it a lot harder to punish a hero like Bubbles who might be getting in her face and harassing her, or even a Wretched Hag potentially. So gives her a lot of less favorable matchups, and you do need to sort of support her now more so, because if you leave her to her own devices, you're not really going to get that early propel that you really need to thrive.
Yeah. So the Moon Queen ban on top of now a Tempest, Plague Rider, and Jeraziah coming out right here. Fun seeing Plague Rider again. You made the point, especially later on in the Haunt Tour season, he really did die off and didn't get to make the fun Plague call recently, so it's kind of fun bringing that back a little bit. Going to call the Plague Carrier as it's appropriately called. But
no, if anything, though, he is pretty good as a support sort of in that off lane, as it does give you the lane control, and especially now that pulling can punish you less. Definitely, if you have a more passive hero, we used to see even Kraken Plague Rider being picked up as a lane, because Kraken, he's pretty strong in lane, but he's not necessarily aggressive. He has strong harass if they choose to come up into melee range. He can creep very efficiently. But Kraken Plague Rider, one of those lane combos of the past that they synergize beautifully together as far as their ultimates are concerned. A more passive lane allowing Kraken to sort of farm up and do his thing, and a lot of safe and easy harass coming out from both of them. Free harass from his smash ability and the free nukage. So yeah, a lot of potential maybe to still use Plague Rider.
Yeah. I remember also the Plague Devourer lane. Got him double slow coming out there. Potential there, so.
Something.
Master of Arms, the final ban for the
Rifle.
That's wild. So.
He looks like he's a little bit shell-shocked there, banning it out himself here.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like he didn't need to do that.
Well, I mean, yeah, it goes back to the point that why make the decision yourself? Why not say, okay, if you're not going to ban, we'll gladly first pick Master of Arms.
Well, it might be that he's not as comfortable playing Master. Maybe he's like planning on wanting to pick up this Torture first. He played a phenomenal Torture in the previous game, although I'm saying picking it up first, but it's in the lock bowl, so definitely not going to be able to do that. Engineer, however, is easily going to be drafted here, and looking at potential lane mates, there are a number of them still in the pool. There's the Hammer Storm. We always like to see the Hammer Storm NG lane. Hammer Storm is not my favorite hero, but who knows? You know, the Elder Parasite did get a buff. I haven't seen these Hammer Storms rushing Elder Parasite quite so much, but that item did receive a buff, maybe a little bit of a alternate path for him, although Shrunken Head can be pretty essential.
Yeah, again, that's the thing to keep in mind there is cannot use Shrunken Head anymore while that's active, so it is definitely a trade-off with that said, and you definitely have to set yourself up appropriately, so. But yeah, Engineer first pick, again, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Solid first pick to start things off for BLZN. The response here from LEFU is going to be Demented Shaman Magnus. So we've seen Demented Shaman yet again on top of the Magnus pick coming out.
Yeah, denying him. I also want the Hammer Storm, but really, honestly, the lane mate for Engineer, they're going to be looking to draft out of this lock pool. There's the Rally, there's the Fade, there's the Pebble, all fantastic heroes that can pair up very, very well with an Engineer. Rally, even if he's in the solo lane, if Engineer comes to roam and set up a gank, very viable. So looking to maybe pick up the solo lanes here more than anything in a potential. I'm taking a look at jungle options. Tempest did get banned outright during the normal ban pool, so not looking to really run a jungle or anything here. Potential a second, and if they go for Torture, that's a secondary support. So yeah, I'd be looking to see them pick up their solos here. And as far as what's available, Wretched Hag's in that lock pool, Bubbles is in that lock pool, Soul Reaper is available. Didn't really see them draft it last game. Predator.
Ooh. See Predator again. He saw in the earlier series from the round of 128 that we casted, and didn't have the best game in the end, but we are going to see it here as well, picked up for BLZN, so it's excited to see him again, kind of a hero that with both his changes and then the Elder Parasite change. Got some solid buffs, you could say. So Aluna is the final pick on top of that, so definitely a very possible tri-lane setup could be coming out of this, if not a couple dual lanes.
Yeah, possible. I mean, they have the option to go set up for 2 dual lanes or do for more of a tri-lane plus roaming setup. They get their first choice of heroes here out of the lock pool, and well, I mean, I still think Rally is a phenomenal option, although they don't have the devastatingly pair with a Rally. Still a very powerful hero in his own right, not something you necessarily want to give for free to the enemy team, especially when you talk about Predator. What counters him a lot? Tablets, and you're looking at free tablet basically being built into Rally there, on top of the fact that his ultimate, even if he does ultimately get the stone hide off, so he sets up the stun, I don't know, it is physical, so just more things to sort of pierce through the stone hide.
Artillery, the final pick for LEFU over here. Again, Artillery did get the change. Well, it got several changes, especially to his LRM there in the patch.
Mostly to the LRM, his ultimate, rocket barrage or his ultimate. I believe the cooldown increased as well, so he's also a free getaway whenever he needs it now.
Yeah. Rally is that first pick coming up for BLZN. Didn't really put too much thought into that. Of course, always a strong first pick option. Back over here to LEFU now. Again, the question is though, even with that LRM or nerf, excuse me, does Artillery still have that strong jungle presence? And are we going to see him in the jungle perhaps here?
Yeah, potentially. Their last pick I would like to see on the Legion team here. I think I would like to see a Bubbles potentially, just due to the fact that Predator kiting does screw him over quite a bit. One of the things that sort of anti-kite there is that Bubbles ultimate, providing the lockdown for crazy overfed Predator to sort of run his way with the enemy team. So I'm taking a look at that Bubbles there and just setting up 2 strong dual lanes or an initial Predator tri-lane with a Rally solo and sort of rotating and roaming from there as the runes do promote.
10 seconds and counting. We're getting pretty close here in terms of these last couple of picks needing to come out. So going to go down to the wire, it looks like. It is going to be Torture of Bubbles. Yep. As their 2 picks.
First, perceptive to the fact that they would be liking to pick up Bubbles there on the Legion side. They do take it for the Hellborn team. It leaves up their choice of all of these strong options. If they're looking for a solo, though, honestly, they have the option of just throwing. Yeah, I was going to say they have the option of throwing Rally there, but more often than not, they'd be better off taking something like that Wretched Hag just to fill the role. So, if they left the Rally to his own devices, they could have set up something strong, like having that Fade or Pebbles plus NG and having the Luna babysit the Pred, roam around from there. But I think the Hag is just a lot more versatile. It gives him a little bit more mobility, less pressure on Predator as well to sort of have to carry on his own in the late game.
So we'll see. We'll see if BLZN can make that comeback. Of course, a very solid team with that said, and Predator, again, a fun hero as far as his carry potential. we'll see what kind of a start he gets. Being played by Pork Chop here. Kind of appropriate. It'd be fun, especially if he had that. I love the bunny skin, bunny predator. But not going to be using that. Looks like he's just using the default here. Or never mind. No, he's not using the default. He is actually using the alternate, but not the bunny pred. This is the predator one. What am I saying? Anyways, it's an alternate skin.
It's a Xeno predator.
Xeno. That's what. Yeah, the predator.
The crazy tail. So I'm taking a look at predator here, and one of the things I'm worried about a little bit is the artillery slow. It does go through, I believe, stone high, trunk head, all of that. So when you're a melee hero that really thrives on getting up in your enemy's face, and that slow is sort of just laying into you, it might greatly mitigate the amount of damage he's able to put out. On top of that, they have some pretty slippery heroes there between Magnus and Bubbles.
Yeah, it's definitely heroes that can get around with those two. So we'll see how that plays out. I mean, as far as the lanes go too here for the southern side, again, I'm very curious. Artillery with his build, it looks like he is going for more of a laning presence for sure. With that build that he has, in fact, definitely. So, not going to be seeing a jungle artillery. But I mean, I do wonder, and I want to say I saw a couple scrims still with him being used actually in that jungle. You know, you still get the early ring of sorcery, and even with the LRM nerf, he still has potential to do it. So, but again,
not really what he's going for this game at all.
Yeah, this game going to be going the laning presence with his starting items. It looks like at least.
Yeah, no, it's going to be Bubbles running the suicide this game. Pretty conventional artillery. Going to the top lane. Outside of that, you're going to probably see him babysat, maybe by something like Demented Shaman early on, getting that lane control. And outside of that, a Mag Torture lane is my guess in the mid.
So we'll see. Obviously, sitting in a pause here, and apparently take a quick smoke break for the Hellborn team. So hopefully not too long of a break, though. As far as I do apologize, but I know I keep sniffling a little bit. I am a little bit under the weather later part of this week, so. But hey, I was looking forward to having some fun this weekend, and definitely am so far. And going to continue into again tomorrow. It's coverage continuing tomorrow. Obviously, as it does get further and further in the event, definitely in the anticipation of watching the matches, it does get a little bit higher. So, with this being the round of 64, we got the round of 32 and the round of 16 also going to be taking place tomorrow. And then it continues into the week, of course, as far as the coverage is concerned. So. Apparently they are ready on the Hellborn side.
See, I feel like with Predator, too, his laning is kind of... I guess feasibly you might be able to send him into the other lanes, but really he's a hero that lends himself more towards that safe lane, straight up normal carry farm. He doesn't really have a burst stun or anything like that. If he doesn't have a burst stun, he doesn't have a setup stun if he's going to one of the top lane or the mid lane in EVA dual setup. So lends himself to being more in that safe lane of farm, which... going against the Bubbles has a multitude of tools to get away from this Predator. So then you're looking at the other lanes there. You see a Rally and you see a Wretched Hag Suicide, I should say, rather, as a result of that probably. And looking against the fact that he's going against this artillery, it's guaranteed free farm, a guaranteed early strong start for this artillery. We've seen the capacity the artillery has to completely take over games.
Oh yeah. A hero that is dangerous, to say the least. He is going to be headed towards the bottom lane with the rest of his team. So, LEFU going to start a little crafty here. Going to go down there. Going to go down the bottom lane and look to get down that very early ward of sight. See one on Bubbles. He shell surfed right off the bat. He's going to kind of slow things down a little bit here, though. They are using the Flying Courier to kind of scout things out a little bit, as much as possible, at least. And as you see, though, the Legion team not really doing too much in terms of being spotted out or putting themselves in a bad position. You do got Predator and Engineer currently down here at the bottom lane, but the Ward of Sight is easily going to be placed. It is right in the middle of the camp, so not the most difficult spot to counter ward. We'll see if Engineer, again, especially with now you can purchase the Ward of Rest right off the bat now, 2 of them. In fact, is there some being delivered? Nope, it's actually a Guardian Ring being delivered to Engineer right here. So Engineer, playing that support Engineer, going to be going for the early ring of Teacher here for his Predator team.
I do prefer when I see that Ward of Sight plays more on the extremes now with the 0-minute Rev Wards being available, having to worry about that quick counter. I feel like you should make it more difficult for your opponent instead.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like he cares at all, just placing it directly in the middle of the camp. And given the fact that, you can tell that Predator is going to have a support hero in his lane, though. I mean, they are going to be looking to quickly counter ward that, and it shouldn't be providing for that much use, so, hey.
Yeah, going the Ring of Teacher, though, again, to eventually, or go in the Guardian Ring to eventually get the Ring of Teacher. How about this? How about this right here?
Interesting. See, I actually kind of like the fact that they're having a Luna roam top at the start.
Yeah.
Knowing that if they have Wretched Hag alone here at the beginning, he's going to get absolutely torn up by this dual lane top. So I like what they're doing because Rally can perform fine at early levels here against this dual lane mid. We've talked about that time and time again, and it's a nice way for them to take away from the inherent disadvantages we sort of pointed out that their laning might have.
Yeah, it is very. I mean, it's not something you don't think a Luna Wretched Hag lane by any means, but you're right. I mean, when you look at the circumstances, it's about thinking outside the box really. And as you put it, definitely agree. This is definitely a smart decision to send the Luna up here. At least give Wretched Hag somewhat of a presence here at this top lane, and then eventually maybe move around as she gets a little bit of farm, a little bit of levels. Because by all means, Rally is more than fine in this middle lane matchup, especially now that it is a 1 versus 1. Torture is roaming to the top lane, so this could get a little scary now for BLZN if they're not careful. Specifically that a Luna, if she gets caught out here in the stun rotation, could be falling. So
yeah, right now she does not actually seem to have the read on it. I'm not sure if Rally called missing on this Torture, and I'm not sure why Torture didn't move forward there. It almost seemed like he guaranteed had a kill if he went for it. Only DS and Artillery, though. It's like they have the most disabled that they can pair with, so he has to make sure his positioning is pretty much perfect here. If the timing isn't right, they will get away. Aluna has that ward place, though. Totally knows that Torture's available and gonna be able to get out safely.
Yeah, I saw it the whole time. That's why I went. That's what I reacted on. Actually, she just placed ward side right in front of Torture as he was roaming over. So he's like, yeah, well, yep, they see me. And I also said stun rotation. The top lane there, I guess there really would have been only the one stun from Torture technically. So. Not really a stun rotation, but definitely still kill potential.
You get the mini stun whenever you entangle.
Yes.
Even level 1, it does apply the mini stun.
Not necessarily, yeah, because they're just stunned.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, so it could have been a kill, but yeah, obviously spotted out, so it wasn't to be. But Torture not done just yet. He was spotted by that ward of sight at the rune. He is coming over, though, and actually going to put it in some auto attacks. The chain of reactions does connect, but Aluna is more than fine, way beyond any pressure there to come out from the Hellborn team. So Torture, doing his best to make his presence felt, but in the end, it seems like Wretched Hag is still managing to get, I guess only 2 creep kills still.
Anything, actually, just because of the amazing last hit damage.
Yeah.
60 to 64 relative to the Wretched Hag's 46 and 54. And she's been opting, instead of trying for some of the last hits, she's been trying to harass the artillery a little bit, trying to maybe gain a little bit of lane control that way. It's just not working, though. I mean, they have Demented Shaman to keep them both healed up to full if they so choose. And right now, artillery is making real short work of this Wretched Hag. The more farm he gets early on, he's going to be able to get those earlier Steam Boots or Ghost Marchers, whatever he wants, and at that point, it's going to become impossible for Wretched Hag to pick up any CS whatsoever.
Yeah. You see Engineer here once again, putting the auto attacks on the bubbles, and really just opening up the door for Pork Chop on Predator, who is just hits level 4 right there, and I'm guessing is having a very good creep farm. Yeah, 19 and 14. Not surprised to be at the tops of the game. Magnus, though, also up there.
A bit peculiar that you actually didn't see the Aluna being the hero that's boxing out bubbles. I feel like Aluna is much more suited to the role, but a little bit better auto attack damage range stats for harassing a suicide out, and meanwhile Engineer pairs just great with Rally.
Yeah. Ooh, Magnus actually dropping fairly low right here. Rally trying to finish him off. Level 7 seconds on that cooldown for the Compel, and Magnus will be able to get away in the end. Very close turnaround there coming out. I say turnaround because Magnus actually did stun initially in first with the Torture follow-up, but obviously with the Luna being there, they nearly got the turnaround kill themselves. But now we are 4 minutes into this game. Still no Bloodlust kill, if I remember correctly. The first game also had a later on Bloodlust kill that eventually started to snowball, so not the most worried thing in the world, but worth noting there. Top lane, once again, Magnus, he is roaming up here, but we're going to run right past this ward of sight. And Wretched Hag blinking away before he can even get there. So you got to think the Hellborn team is, okay, something's up. They got to have some kind of
there's a ward there by now. I'm not quite so sure. Either way, it doesn't matter if they're getting scouted out. They're still having just fine lane control. Meanwhile, Predator getting absolute total free farm here against this Bubbles. Bubbles, for the most part, still being effectively boxed out. Still saying it's 0 CS here. Going to be a little bit difficult to pull him off of the tower. Hopefully he can make something happen here, get a little bit of recovery, as that is a huge wave.
Yep, missing one right there. If anything, experience is definitely something he's gonna even use a shell serve to guarantee.
Oh, no, it was worth it. It was
three,
definitely worth it.
Yeah, so he actually finishes off with 3 out of all those creep kills. Maybe the catapult, no. But yeah, got a good amount. He does hit level 3 on top of that. So as you say, yeah, worth it. You're not going to be using those abilities for much else at this point. So, but Predator, Xeno Predator here, 30 and 21 creep farm. No doubt Pork Chop is having the impact he's looking for. And, you know, the Predator game we saw earlier today from the round of 128 series that we casted, if I remember correctly, I think didn't he go right into the Elder Parasite?
He did.
Yeah, so I'm kind of curious again, how does this Predator build?
As I've experienced here with most of the Predators I've played in matchmaking games, whether Pork Chop feels like that's necessary or not, we'll have to see, but it just definitely makes sense. The item is really powerful. I think you keep that passive 15 attack speed when you activate the Elder Parasite as well, so you actually get 115, if I'm not mistaken, bonus attack speed.
I know another popular, not really popular, but another item you could go on him, especially in a case like this where you are getting free farm, is it Alchemist Bones? I mean, would you be against Alchemist Bones here?
No, I wouldn't inherently. I feel like an Elder Parasite sort of helps you farm fast as well, though, and it lets you get active in these fights. And I don't really like to have a period of vulnerability on any team. I must say, though, if you are getting total, absolute free farm, it is a viable option, but you just better make sure they don't start grouping up and pushing before you can really handle it.
If you are going to do that, usually you might go the boots and then into it. So he does go the steam boots first, so yeah, probably will end up being something else, whether it's that Elder or even something further. But
yeah, I wouldn't like to see it. I think a Predator's strength is sort of in that early mid. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, however, Breaky.
Rally taking a little bit too long right there. I guess he was susceptible to the Torturous Stun, but he waited a little bit for the for his ultimate use right there. In the end, though, Magnus buying enough time to Lava Surge away just before he got comboed. If that Seismic Slam went through, Magnus was more than likely dead. So good job, though, by Torture with that said to kind of protect him. By the way, look at Torture's build. He has 2 points in chain reactions, and he has nothing else at level 3. So I'm guessing he went the stats.
No, I think he's saving his skill point.
Simply saving? Okay.
Yeah. You're not going to put stats on Torture. All of your abilities are way too strong. I'm going to say there's...
What would be the logic to save here, though?
Maybe he's deciding, saying if he needs that Agonizing Bonds to set up a kill potentially. Hasn't really had the circumstance to use Impalement, so he's just trying which way he wants to build up. They aren't applying the aggression just yet. They're sort of being in a more reactive situation, so until he really sees what the situation's going to call for, he's like, screw it, I don't need it. Yeah, you see right there, he hits level 4 and still saving the point, so kind of interesting there, but we'll see what Starzors eventually does go. Planet's Torch actually gets his boots delivered right there, so a little more presence as well. Back to Artillery at this top lane again. He's continuing to farm very well. 44 and 16 farm now. He just finished his Ghost Marches. He has that Ring of Teacher on top of that. Definitely starting to pick things up quite a bit. Wretched Ag level 5. She was able to get a fair amount of creep kills herself, but especially compared to Bubbles, is still having the better time. Bubbles does hit level 5 though himself right there against this Predator. Predator, did he buy something? I feel like he did. I didn't notice it though. Oh, there is a beast right on the courier, so it looks like Elder Parasite for
Elder
sure.
Parasite, yeah.
It synergizes way too well with the skill. And the way the new terror works, it's after every 3 attacks you actually begin to inflict the terror onto the enemy, giving that minus armor, giving the attack speed, giving the move speed. So with Elder Parasite, it pretty much just keeps you hasted in battle. The 20 attack speed on top of the 115, 135 on top of Steam Boots. You're looking at 150 plus your built-in agility just hits way fast. So
we're looking at a lot, to be precise.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
No, it's just absurd how quickly that actually stacks up.
Yeah. And Engineer, as we mentioned, he went the Guardian Ring first. Now he has that Ring of Teacher finished, so obviously helping his teammate Predator quite a bit too. Currently has it just on heroes, of course. You don't want to put it on those minions, as it would push up the lane quite a bit. So seems like for the most part they are doing a pretty good job with the lane control. Middle lane, Magnus being turned around, and he is able to Lava Surge in time. Rally winning first with the Compel, but Magnus barely able yet again to get away before he gets comboed down. So Cyrus, 9 minutes into this game, we still do not have a bloodless kill.
Yeah, there's been a
close.
lot of back and forth though. Artillery, you see right here, there's been a lot of pressure applied, just not being able to steal to deal with any kills. The Entangle is here though. Artillery does have the ultimate up. That should be a dead hag breaking.
Yeah, a couple more auto attacks in. Well, there you go. I call for it, and it finally comes. Bloodlust kill in favor of the Hellborn team. Yes, this is Dog. On that Artillery does get the Bloodlust kill. Yeah, it is a pretty silly name. But yeah, good job collapsing on a Wretched Hag right there. And Rowley, oh, what was that about? He tries to pour it out. Right, and yeah, he is in a pretty awkward spot. Artillery just pounding it with the auto attacks. Does have that bunker down currently. Lava Surge comes out for Magnus. He was in phase, gets the kill. Bubbles also joining the party. Aluna wants to kill first. It ain't going to happen, though. Artillery picks up the kill. Oh, that's a big blunder right there by Rally.
Yeah, I don't know why Rally went to the top lane. It was clear they had some numbers there. It wouldn't be hard to rotate at that point and just went a little bit too far, and it's really just setting a bad pacing here for the Legion team. They looked really strong early on. Predator was getting sound farm. He's still getting sound farm.
You could say he took a gamble.
He did take a gamble. The Gambler trying to make a risky play, and the regional rune, going to fall into the hands of Demented Shaman here. Oh, the turret cancels it, so not a big deal.
Gets it off, and actually Demented Shaman.
He knows he's safe. He knows the spells are on cooldown. Unless there's a surprise here. Like that Wretched Hag, who wasn't that far away maybe to flash in and land the Sonar Scream. He wasn't really worried about dying there, so just trying to apply the pressure.
Yeah.
Wretched Hag left without a place to farm right now, as the mid lane sort of taken over. The Suicide lane has an artillery that has Ghost Marchers, way too much damage to compete in last hitting there. And in the safe lane you have Predator, so she's kind of left to suffer here.
You know, something I have noticed a little bit more so today, and even with this match, okay, with the Invitational last weekend, something that really stood out to me and both of us, and I think it was safe to say, you know, for anyone tuning in, is that the GPM charts specifically were pretty ridiculous overall. As a team, for both sides, it seems like they were pretty high up there. In this game, and a couple times today, it really hasn't been that case. I mean, especially in this game, you look, it's Artillery's up there and then Predator, and it falls off quite a bit for both teams even. So, kind of interesting observation there, I guess. But nonetheless, Predator, he is up there, 382 gold per minute, and just still continuing to have a really good time here at this bottom lane. Doesn't seem like the Open is too concerned about him just yet.
Yeah, I just heard about a recent result in another match that was going on. We Are Spies.
Oh, hold that thought actually just for a second real quick. We do have a big fight brewing here in the middle lane. Predator coming in though. The Hardened Carapace is going to be applied. Going on a Torture right here. And down goes Torture, excuse me, the Stonehide. That ain't Arachna, that is Predator. Anyways, gets the kill right there onto Torture. So you see that damage output, man, when he activates the Elder Parasite. It dropped Torture fairly quickly. So apparently the doorbell rang, but a good hold there in the middle lane, with that said. But you were saying about
no. So that's definitely a good hold right there, and it's exactly what they need to make happen. I was saying just an impressive statistic going on here in another matchup that was running We Are Spies in their round of 64 matchup, facing his clan EBRS. You wouldn't believe the amount of gold the rookie managed to amass here on Pebbles. 937 gold per minute. When asked what happened, he says, alt staff. Alt staff happened.
Oh, man.
So I'm going to have to go back and check out
Group Chuck for the win, basically.
Sometime soon. Yeah, Group Chuck.
32, 2, and 25. 35, 2, and 25. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, no, you are in 19 minutes. He had 32, 2, and 20. I'm not.
What?
I'm not sure. There had to have been a lot of fountain camping or
yeah. It was a nearly 20-minute game, so they didn't even concede
19, 1 in 29, so that must have just been.
Oof.
Maybe the enemy team was just constantly running in, but I can't imagine those numbers are feasible any other way.
Yeah, that seems a little,
little
over the top.
I'm going to go check that out a little bit later, but either way, back to this game here, Breaky. Team BLZN showing some life there. Predator continuing his snowball fight, getting that kill there, sitting at 400 gold per minute, pretty much neck and neck here with this artillery.
Hey, you know, we might have specific stats for this tournament, and if that's the case, that's going to be really skewed for him right there. Oh, Demented Shaman gets got in the middle lane by Rowley, gets a solo kill, but now Rowley in a little bit of trouble himself. Lava Surge from Magnus, nice stuff from Luna though. The Keck's done just in case, and Rowley will barely get away, so Rowley showing his presence right there, gets the solo kill onto Demented Shaman, and runs away in time before he gets taken out, so good job right there, and gets makes it now a 2-3 hero kill game. Still the goalie overall in favor of LEFU here.
Yeah, the other nice thing about Predator is that he doesn't really have to worry about a kelp field from bubbles. You know, Shrunken Head is one of the items you like to rush whenever you're facing a bubbles. You know, thanks to the fact, but yeah, he has a quick, easy way out of that lockdown. So yeah, bubbles here kind of trying to play it safe, sit on the edge and just try to pick up some experience where he can. Maybe nuke the wave a little bit. No one really turning around to set up a gank.
You see him right there, just kind of using the shells for creep kills, if anything, harassing him a little bit. Middle lane in the meantime, Rowley's actually in a little bit of trouble and tangle on him. Chain reaction is going to miss, though. Good sidestep from Rowley. Demoralizing roar comes out, and Rowley will be more than fine. An excellent sidestep from the Gambler right there to prevent any kind of follow-up onto him. He sees Darzos right there.
I'm so good at these shots, right? So
get
me off of this Torture.
Oh, Bubbles actually jumps to the top end of the Wretched Hag. He does have a kelp field, choosing not to use it right there, as well as no Song of the Sea.
Yeah, it was wise. Wretched Hag healing up a little bit there with her bottle. Just Bubbles was trying to capitalize before then. Now that he ported top, though, a little bit of a waste. Unless artillery, he is circling around, maybe trying to pick up a kill here. Doesn't look like he's trying to, just probably going to resort to falling back to the jungle. The woods are being stacked for him by his buddy Torture. Antler Healer messing up his plan over there and just going to keep farming instead for now. Predator left to his own devices on bottom.
Yeah, he is very close to that Nullstone finish, the Bloodstorm, the Sustainer, so, and especially once he gets that Nullstone, we've seen so many times that he just really starts to skyrocket as expected. So,
well, that's the thing. I mean, he gets a position so far back, and I'm not really worrying about him getting caught in an Engineer ultimate or being stuck in the middle of the fight that way. He can sort of position back from to avoid getting caught by the rally, and since he's going Nullstone, Predator is going to have a hell of a time getting to him.
Yeah.
And who else is going to break it? I mean, Aluna has to position herself back in a fight, right? But meanwhile, Artillery is positioning itself in the back of the other team, so can't really be accessed by the Aluna unless they're getting a pickoff
like
game.
Hag with a
You're looking at Hag, but Hag blinking into the heart of the enemy team is not what she wants to do.
Yeah, very true. Middle lane in the meantime, good hits hold once again and catching that kind of at the near the end of it, but Magnus does fall, and the Legion team able to hold off any middle push attempt. So good job right there coming out from BLZN. In the meantime, though, more so, Artillery is cleaning up those Ancients. Obviously, Ancients did receive some buffs, both the Predators and the Dragon Masters. But Artillery taking out that triple stack still fairly easily. And he does have enough gold. In fact, he already bought the Nullstone pattern, has that being delivered and on the way. But in the meantime, Predator pushing the bottom tower. Look at what item he's going for next. That Insanitarius. So Steam Boots, Elder Parasite, Insanitarius combination going to be coming out here. Porkchop might be in some trouble, though. He does have that the Stonehide to use right here. Magnus, there's the stun attempt, but the Stonehide obviously preventing it, and I think he will be fine. As, yeah, no Magnus chase right there. So able to get away. Good job for Predator, at least.
Yeah, I like the Insanitarius route instead of what we saw the previous game, the Bulwark into the Warp Cleft. I think the Insanitarius is a nice balance of stats and additional protection here for the Predator, making him even more tanky with the additional bonus health when you choose to activate it. Although you lose life, it synergizes well with you because you are stealing life to make up for it. On top of the fact that it gives you a little bit of extra attack speed on top of everything as well. So just the huge auto attack damage, it's a lot stronger.
Yeah, another thing to take note of is actually a little bit of a roam coming on here. Bubbles and Magnus, they're going to run right into Predator. The Stone Out again just in time before the Lava Surge hits. So Predator just able to react a little too quick for Faddis here on the Magnus. And actually, look at the mini-map. We could have still a battle go on here. Rally uses the Invis Rune. Magnus stuns in onto Aluna. Rally trying to line himself up. A big compel, not nearly in time though. Aluna does fall. Predator jumps in though, and Torture jumping. There goes the Magnus Eruption Channel. It is going to go up. Predator's like, I got a Stonehide, biatch. I'm taking no damage. The Kelfield gonna stun him in place, but Magnus and Bubbles are now going to be on the run. There's the Venomous Leap, and Magnus sits up to a nice tablet forward with the compel. It doesn't stun Magnus, but it keeps him in range. Magnus still on the run. Will it be enough? The Demolizing Roar doesn't hit. Magnus is going to fall though in the end as the Gambler playing Rally gets the kill right there in the end. Bubble Shell Surf, he is not going to port with it. Good collapse right there coming out for BLZN.
Yeah, the initial compel coming out from Gambler tried to get the double stun hit Magnus as well. Didn't position it as well as he would have liked. Didn't get a chance to use his Seismic Slam, but did not matter. They were caught out of position. They were deep in enemy territory. Weren't able to get the jump on Predator, and they needed to get the hell out of there. Lingered around a little bit too long, and not what they needed. Meanwhile, Artillery farming up the entire time. I talked about it before. It's going to be the Artillery that shuts down the Predator in these fights. If he's not there, they are going to have free reign of pretty much every encounter. But when he is there, it's going to be hard to deactivate that Nullstone, as we mentioned, and the slow from the LRM with the Fragmentation Shells effect. I'm just seeing Predator crawling around these fights, absolutely useless, not being able to catch up to anybody at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it most certainly can happen. So it's just about using that Stonehide wisely and having your team support ready. So
well, yeah, but the Stonehide doesn't even stop the Fragmentation Shells. That's still going
true.
to be...
Yeah, the physical slow. So, yep, yeah, very true. What I was going to say, though, just before that whole engagement happened was it's kind of as I always like to say, a double-edged sword here for Predator, whereas Magnus stuns on a Hag in the bottom lane. Not going to really do much, though. The middle tower also goes down for LEFU right there. Speaking of Predator, actually, Venomous Sleep there on a Torture. Look at Torture dropping 2-3 hits. He will stay alive, though, as Demented Shaman comes in for the heal at the last second. But again, Predator showing off his damage potential. But okay, so what I was going to say, though, you look at this Hellborn team, there isn't really a tanky, a beefy hero necessarily. And Predator, with that Carnivorous, would usually like to face against those heroes that maybe build up on that life pool. Not going to happen as much over here on the Hellborn side. Now, you know, the good side of that is that, well, they are squishy at the same time. Because they're not those beefy heroes, so they will just drop faster in general. But just kind of something to note there with the Carnivorous from Predator. But
yeah, something more to note, though, is I mentioned that Predator and Artillery were neck and neck. At this point, Artillery totally taking over as lead farmer in the game. Looks like it's going to be something, a little bit of a standoff here. Artillery doesn't really seem to care, laying in the pressure.
Oh, wow. Rally going big right here. He's in a little bit of trouble. Compelled backwards, though. Oh, big energy field coming up from Engineer on top of that. Eruption going to be channeled, not doing too much damage. Venomous Sleep from Predator gets the kill, and Rally stays alive throughout it all. Bubbles and Torture both end up falling. Magnus wants this kill. What is that is thinking? He's going for a kill. He will get it, but at what cost? He's going to end up falling, giving a kill to Predator in the end. Now, the tower does fall in favor of the Hellborn team, but Magnus, don't know if that was worth it. Killing a support of Luna and giving a kill to Predator in the end. Don't know about that. I guess it did kind of distract him too from denying.
He might have been screwed anyway. It was probably his logic. So.
I think he was fine. He actually.
Yeah, I thought he could. I know. I thought he could get out as well, but you know, in the heart of the battle, maybe that's something that was crossing his mind. Something else here. No, you see Predator picking up the Warhammer. Unless he's going for an additional shrunken head, which is not something I'd imagine he's doing. It looks like that's shield breaker route, which is another benefit to the change applied to Elder Parasite. It's now an activation modifier, and as such, you're allowed to stack an item like Elder Parasite with your shield breaker. You could do it before if you switch buffs around, but it's a lot easier to use now.
Yeah, non-attack modifier. So, Predator wants that tower kill. He's not going to get it, though, and now he's in a lot of trouble. He went a little bit too deep right there. Predator will end up falling. That was absolutely the worst-case scenario. Not only does the tower get denied in front of his face, but he ends up dying on top of that.
Yeah, he
Big kill.
He can't really afford that. The weight of the game is on his back right here, facing off against this artillery. And every minute he's spending not farming is the minute that artillery is spending just getting way, way ahead of the pack. And you're talking about kiting that Predator around. Assassin Shroud now picked up by the artillery, ultimately linking into Genjuro, another thing that can just really screw the Predator even when he's going for that.
Oh, Engineer. I'm sorry, buddy.
See you later.
Hey, he dropped a mine. That's not going to matter. Yeah, that was, well, the Assassin Shroud right away coming into play. Using it to set up the kill onto Engineer. You're right, though. I mean, it's already difficult, but now an Assassin Shroud on top of that he's going to have to deal with in terms of now an escape mechanism for artillery. So it's artillery. Look at that GPM, man. 540 gold per minute. What nerfs? Says yes, this is dog here. Playing the artillery. Aluna coming in with the Starter's Demoralizing Roar. Demented Shaman able to pour it out. Rally's Compel obviously wasn't off cooldown just yet. Magnus kind of finding himself in an odd spot right here. He does have a Lava Surge. He's trying to time it correctly, though. We'll go on to Aluna right there. The Steam Bath on top, trying to juke and jive. Rev down. The Compel misses! Not going to matter, though, in the end. One more auto attack. Sono Scream connects, and Sky Griffin playing the Hag will get the kill. Middle tower also goes down as Artillery and Torture were both there.
That had to have been a misclick, just misgauging the damage by just a tad there. Magnus constantly being caught out of position here. I see the ring mail. He does have his portal key, right? Because for a while I saw him, he was sitting him. Don't tell me he just said screw it.
That's interesting. Yeah, he went the ring mail.
No. He's got to have it, right? No.
How would he not go portal key? That would be really weird. Yeah. I mean, Soul's Bulwark for the team.
I mean, his team is looking very strong still, in spite of the fact that they screwed up a little bit there on the middle tower. Artillery just. We have not seen a straight-up clash where Artillery's been there and Predator, and they've just gone head-to-head against each other, but I don't see it ending well.
Yeah, there's the portal. I was going to say, he had 260 gold per minute, too, so yeah, he does have the portal key.
Yeah, sure.
Picked up right there as soon as he comes back up, so to clarify that.
Only 22 minutes in breaky. The Artillery's sitting at 600 gold per minute, man.
And he just finished the Genjuro. Wow. Genjuro Nullstone Ghost Marchers on Artillery, as you said, 22.5 minutes in. Holy crap. That is
Wretched
powerful.
Hag cut out here. Magnus still not up though for 5 seconds, so opting not to keep chasing the Wretched Hag, that's fine. As you mentioned before, Genjuro finished. And as you know, range carries is so much easier to do work with them compared to something like a Predator, who I think if you're running a Predator, running a melee carry, you kind of need to make sure, unless it's one of the super hard ones, like say, hey, maybe a Mage Bane or a Dark Lady that offer a ton of utility and mobility in the fights, you kind of want to get in there and crush a lot sooner than you would with maybe the range carries. Get in there and take the towers, win those team fights a lot sooner. And right now, given the fact that it's a neutral game and Artillery is farmed out of his mind and being a range carry, seeing almost 200 gold per minute above the Predator, I don't know. It's going to be really up to his team just trying to kill every single one of Artillery's allies before. You're not going to be able to reach the Artillery if you're trying to burst him down. You're not. As long as he's paying any attention to positioning, now that he is, and also now that he is the Genjuro, no way.
That's the thing, though. I mean, that's where it is. It is on LeFU in a sense where they need to be careful not to get caught out without Artillery, because without Artillery, they will get smashed. I mean, you look at how under-leveled they are and really just under-farmed to an extent they are compared to that of the Legion side. So as a team, it almost seems like BLZN might be in as a better spot as a team, but yes, the artillery is no doubt that very scary focal point here. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That. Look at Bubbles. He just gets jumped and absolutely destroyed by Predator. Predator 2100 life when he has that Insanitaries activated. I didn't even notice the damage output that he's doing, but obviously that on top of what is now a level 1 shield breaker still, soon to be level 3, I'm sure. So he will. Again, everyone else surrounding the artillery is definitely very susceptible to dying fairly quickly in these fights. So.
I agree, which is why they have to, as we mentioned, just focus on maybe getting a good team set where they're able to burst them down and then sort of make it a numbers advantage against the artillery, just because any other way, there's no chance.
Oh, Wretched Hag needs to be careful. She will blink away. Gunjiro going to be used by artillery. Wants this kill right here. Wretched Hag getting blocked. Ports are coming in. Wretched Hag, so much damage, not able to blink in time, and will end up falling. Rally porting in just a fraction of a second late, though. If he got there a second before the Capel would have happened, would have been fine. But actually, this could get interesting right here. Predator jumping in. Illuna going to lock down Magnus. The Predator Venomous Sleep. Steam Bath coming out, though. The Power Throw hitting Magnus, but he is still hiding in that Steam Bath. Meanwhile, back here, Artillery is tearing up players. Rally's in some trouble. Energy Fit, oh, just out of range of Artillery. That is a pretty big deal. He's able to get away. Genjiro comes out, and he will be able to get away just fine, I'm sure. Bound Eye, obviously, on Engineer, but Artillery is just going to be too far away. Ooh, that energy field, if that actually hit artillery, this fight could have been so much more different right now.
Yeah, I like the fact that Predator and everyone rotated up there. It was a fraction away. I mean, honestly, I don't blame him for trying. I know how close it was. Catching him out a little bit here with the Keg stun, but he's way far removed from the rest of the enemy team. And could be able to skate out there, so, hey.
You know what that said, too?
Yeah, honestly, he was low mana, though. If he had earlier mana, he would have tried to commit more. He would have been able to lay the LRM pressure as Predator was chasing his teammates. Being a little bit low, even with that Null Stone, just hasn't really had a chance to go back and heal up to full and be topped off for a while here. Double damage is in the top river, but is keeping his farm up, doesn't really want to stop, so.
I don't know. I assume, yeah, he would have seen that, but yeah, did not see it maybe, or just, as you said, just wants to keep his farm elsewhere.
Not.
Word of sight if they're from the Legion team, so they're aware of that double damage rune. We'll see if Predator maybe heads up there to pick it up here in the near future.
Look at this triple stack of Ancients, man.
And they're
literally falling in 5 seconds to this artillery.
What buffed Ancients?
Well, okay, a little bit of a buff to Ancients, but at this point he's sitting on a Genjiro and a Null Stone, man.
Pretty far. Yeah.
I know. He's pretty.
It's just like when the patch did come out. You mentioned Gemini earlier. I saw Z-Freak playing Z-Freak of Stay Green, of course. He actually was playing Gemini and just a random TMM. He was tearing people up. Now, granted, he was tearing people up with a wing bow, a Behemoth's Heart, Rift Shards. I mean, so obviously he was insanely farmed. But still, it's like, you get those moments like, oh, this hero's so overpowered now, obviously. But you think to yourself, wait a second. Well, might be a reason because of the circumstances of this game. Anyways, what did Artillery buy, by the way? What is on the courier? It is an Ice Brand. Okay, so obviously the nice thing about a Genjiro as well is the fact that you don't have to worry about that taking up an attack modifier by any means. So gets the Ice Brand now on top of that, and
well, it's more for the anti-melee kite on top of it. As we talked before, if he goes for that Frostwolf Skull, it also pierces through Shrunken Head on top of the Fragmentation Shells and a Predator that Elder Parasite. It won't matter. Elder Parasite, the movement bonus from Terror. He's not going to even be able to catch up to anyone at that point.
I kind of wonder, is he going to go Frosted Skull or maybe even a Dawnbringer? I could definitely see a Dawnbringer.
I could see a Dawnbringer. I feel like Frostwolf would be a little bit better though.
Yeah. Yeah, but the purpose that you're talking about. Ooh, Kalpha does land an Engineer. I think it might just be too far to range, though. Oh, what am I saying? Artillery's here. But at what cost? Artillery needs to be careful, actually. Double damage Predator, and Artillery will fall to pieces. That's the moment that the Legion team was looking for. Bubbles on the run. He's going to be torn apart. And expect Kongor very likely to happen right here. Artillery's not going to buy back. If I'm the Legion team, I'm going straight for Kongor, man. I mean, he is...
What a bait. What a huge play, hitting him into that energy field, catching him out of position. He had no idea there, man. He tried to get away, but it was too late. Crafty, crafty play coming out. And, yeah, go take that, Kongor, man. They have bubbles down. They have artillery down. Please go take it.
Guys.
Go take it. Go take it. You're on the Legion state. This is your chance. Go take it.
Guys, Kongor, right here. Come on, right here.
Come on. Oh, really?
No, Kongor.
Really? Like...
Okay.
You have this perfect opportunity where you caught, big bad artillery out. They only have a Magnus, a DS, and a Tort available. You have an ample amount
look at
of
the
damage.
help. I mean, they even think they're doing Kongor, and they're like, oh.
The second tier tower is not worth it.
This is a base tower, maybe, but yeah, second tier tower, 100% agree. It seemed like Kongor was absolutely the obvious choice there. And BLZN, as big as that was, I mean, you gotta wonder if they're ultimately capitalizing on the most. And in the end, they still did kill artillery. They do get a secondary tower with ease. And the gold and experience lead are even expanding more in their favor now. So there's a lot of positive that still came out of that.
It's not like they screwed up. I just thought there's always room to make up for the gold. I guess they just didn't want to open up the can of worms that could be Concord. Maybe they figured, oh, maybe artillery has a buyback. I don't know. They just opted for the
But that's the thing.
play.
Even if he does, you want to make him use it.
It does open up the map a bit more, though, allow them to have map control. And maybe they figure, hey, even if we had a token on our pred, he's probably not dying first in the fight anyway, and once he's down, all that slow, all that anti-kite they have, the token might not be the biggest difference maker in these team fights.
Artillery might be in trouble once again. He needs to be really careful right here. Reginite blinks in, does have that Gajiro. Bounty's not close enough. Engineer's just a little bit too far away, and now here's a turnaround chance. The ports are coming in. Obviously, the ultimate order, the artillery barrage use the eruption channel going up for Magma. He jumps over there, but look at Predator tearing up the Magic Shaman. Artillery's on the right, doesn't have Gajiro for 3 more seconds, 2 more seconds, 1 more second. It might come up just in time. There we go. Going to be fine. Meanwhile, back here, Magnus does fall. They did kill a Luna, but artillery still on the run. Venomous Sleep there on a Torture, and Torture dies in a matter of a couple of hits as Predator just doing so much damage. He has another Stone Knight in 10 seconds, so not just yet, but both artillery and Bubbles are going to be on the run. And now BLZN, especially after that fight, I mean, things are definitely getting a lot more comfortable for them as far as the control they have of this game, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah, artillery being forced to burn through those Genjuro charges early on in the fight. Didn't have it up for quite a while there. Was not able to save his teammates. He was sort of caught out of position. Was not able to save his teammates from the wrath of the Predator. And man, he's just doing so much damage. He's turning it in their favor so well. Yeah. And it constantly seems like artillery is not in a position where he can be doing the same to the Legion team. I honestly really had feared for the Legion lineup going up against this farmed artillery, but he's just not making the best use of his hero at this point. And on top of that, the excellent team fight, the excellent setups coming out from beautiful engineer ultimates, the Predator just picking the right target, getting up in there, getting in the artillery's face. It's wonderful.
Interesting. Okay, so Porktop, he initially bought a Axe of the Malphite, so you think Behemoth's Heart, but then he switched it up, and he actually sold that and now bought a Brutalizer. Brutalizer going to be delivered here, and obviously an item, especially with the Elder Parasite. He's going to be stun locking now quite efficiently on top of just doing a lot of damage. 282 maximum damage once he has an Insanitarius activated as well.
Well, on top of the damage from Carnivorous, so.
And Carnivorous, yep, you're right. Yeah.
And the minus armor being applied from the Shield Breaker and
his old terrors, yep. Yeah, he's scared. Safe to looking right here. He's thinking about maybe going in. Obviously, that Nullstone, though, going to be an issue.
Now that they're all in artillery, it really is becoming apparent that everyone else on the team is suffering. And meanwhile, Hag, she's actually getting close to her shrunken head. It's not just the Predator we have to look at anymore. Hag can just move around that fight so well, pick off those supports, and really turn this fight against them. So at this point in the game, I know I thought the artillery team had advantage if they were picking fights, but it's looking like it's totally turned around now, looking like BLZN is in complete control of this game.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely cool, and you know, it's obviously this could mean a game 3 if BLZN keeps this up. Currently, we do have LEFU up 1-0, of course, here in the round of 64. This is still the single elimination part of this event. So it's winner go home basically here for the DreamHack Summer 2013 qualifiers, and BLZN fighting for their tournament lives here. So here's a Kongor attempt though coming up from the Hellborn team, but very quickly spotted out by a red power throw, and just like that, the Hellborn side falls back. Porkchop kind of off from his team right now. He's going to jump in though, right on a Torture, 3 hits on a Torture, gets the kill. Rally finds Dimension Shaman as well. Dimension Shaman fall, a rupture from Magnus, but on what cost right there? Magnus not the best decision. Hat trick coming out for the Porkchop, baby. And Artillery's just going to run away with the Genjiro. Wow, the positioning, not the prettiest right there for LEFU.
Oh my god, and Rally here, ready to go with his portal key. Seismic Slam, still up 3 heroes down. Yeah, just out and take out the extra outer tower. Man, the game is snowballing so fast at this point.
Yeah, it really is crazy to think, but not even 5-10 minutes ago at the most, maybe even 5 minutes ago, I mean, how different this game was. But you're right, BLZN just not only took the lead, but they took it very confidently. And although the little bit of a miscue of not going for that Kongor, it just hasn't mattered.
Well, I guess if you look back at it, they wanted the map control, and we looked at it. If they were going to lose the fight, if Predator was going to go down anyway, they might have figured, yeah, it's just going to be a matter of we're going to kite the Predator and fights kill his team, and he's going to die last anyway. So maybe we don't need the token. We'd rather have the map control, keep these fights going. And they're just doing an excellent job of it. So It was their decision not to go for it. It's paid off in the end, no matter what they're doing.
True.
Predator literally tearing through every single opponent he goes up against in 3 or 4 hits.
Yeah. Again, that's what I was still very worried about for this Albert. As farmed as Artillery was, everyone else around him is still very vulnerable to that of Predator specifically. So, and again, it has definitely paid off. I saw him purchase an axe in the Malphite. I'm guessing it's okay. Yeah, he just put on the Courier as soon as it gets back, and that's so. Now he went the Brutalizer first, and now he has the Behemoth's Heart going to be coming out. So he's going to be sitting on with the Incendiaries right now. He's at 2,700. When he gets that Behemoth's Heart, the axe in the Malphite alone, he's going to be upwards of 3,000. There you go, 3,170. Behemoth's Heart, he's going to be upwards of 3,500 life once he has Incendiaries activated in that finish. So that's scary. On top of the damage output. Now Frostful Skull. Yep.
Yeah, it is finished. It's just the thing that I went back to. I was worried about the farmed up artillery, but it's no longer just the artillery. As we mentioned before, the Wretched Heck has their Shrunken Head. Now they have 2 ways to deal with the bubbles and the magmas. The rest of the team really just doesn't do anything. They're all very, very squishy, very easy targets to pick off between this rally, between this hag, between this predator. And artillery, as farmed as he is, he cannot be a one-man band.
Yeah. Magnus also finding himself in an odd spot there. He actually dropped fairly low to Kongor, and he also got hit by the red power throw, I believe. So he's able to blink away in time, though, before anything too serious happens. Clearly, they're trying to take that quote-unquote Hellborn advantage here and get the Kongor attempts going on, but BLZN's doing a very good job of making sure to not allow them to even get a good run going. Obviously, having a Luna helps that big time. As she can constantly scout it out. In fact, there you go once again. She's just constantly using, seems like every cooldown at this point. She's just making sure that LEFU is not actually doing Kongor. So Behemoth Heart is definitely on the way. But yeah, you mentioned earlier with the Wretched Hag, I mean, she has that Shrunken and Hellflower combination now. She's looking just great here at 370 gold per minute. She also has another 1,800 gold saved up now. Predator in the middle lane going to be done. Oh, the nice reaction right there with the Stone Hide. Now, I don't know if that was because of the LRM or if he just simply reacted to the Portal Key Magnus, but either way, big plays by Porkchop. And able to, well, ward off any fear there of initiation. So
yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Behemoth's Heart completed. Holy
what is he going to do? Okay.
Like
so
30,
here it is.
30,
He's at 3,200 without Incendiaries
activated. You can keep Incendiaries on now without losing health.
True. Very true.
You can keep Incendiaries on without losing health, so.
Might as well.
God, look, they're all trying to play keep way, trying to piece together any sort of items they can. It's just the case where they can't even afford to be hit by the Predator at this point.
Yeah, I wonder when he's going to realize, maybe when he first turns it on, he'll be like, oh, I'm not really losing any life, so I'll go ahead and keep that on. But anyways, yeah, he is scary, man. As he is shown several times in this game alone. 9-1-4 is Porkchop. Definitely dominating this game here. Artillery is still the top farmer in the game. I mean, it's definitely closed the gap a lot, and the Predator's within 20 or 15 gold per minute. But Artillery is still overall the top, and he has another 1,100 gold saved up here. So, where do you go from here if you're Artillery? You got your Null Stone, Genjiro, your Frostful Skull. I mean,
my main worry looking at the fights, and now I can go back over this, was that the Artillery just being far in the back would have a really hard time. Honestly, I attribute a lot of how these fights have been turning out thanks to the Rally, who's been making sure that he actually initiates on the Artillery in a lot of these fights, finds those pickoffs, initiates with that portal key into the Compel, and as such, Artillery is having to spend a bit of the fight actually running away from the Artillery, who is applying the pressure. Meanwhile, the team catches up and sort of surrounds him in groups around him, not giving him that space that he needs to shut down Porkchop. So as long as they keep doing that, I can't really see his reign of terror being stopped.
Yeah. I mean, you know what is actually a decent counter item, defensive item, especially against Predator, is that Void Talisman, obviously. But, Artillery's, he completely relies on being able to auto-attack himself for his damage output, of course. So I guess the LRM, you could definitely still do that on top of even its ultimate, and when it comes down to it, if you have the Void Talisman activated. But it's something to think about where, it does give you that window of when it is up. If Predator happens beyond you, he's pretty much doing nothing to you. So something to think about. But again, we see the Hellborn team trying to sneak in here to the Kongor pit, but you got this Ward Aside here. Demented Shaman does have a Bound Die, but obviously can't see it until he actually activates the Bound Die. And it's going to be spotted anyways by the
look at Pred. He's going to be invisible here, walking up to the cliff. Almost leaped into the middle of that with... Oh, man.
Bubbles getting away in time.
So yeah, he does have the bound. We'll see how
Over here.
fast Porkchop's reactions are, and if he'll even get scouted out before he's able to do anything.
Yeah.
Just missing the Demented Shaman's field of vision right now. Does have vision of the Torture. He wants to jump in so bad, Breaky.
Yeah, he knows he has that bound eye, though, so he's being pretty careful right here. Again, he can obviously
He's in range.
clearly see the animation. There we go. He's screwed. I don't give you. Oh, man! Demented Shaman and Torture just absolutely melted. Double tap for Predator. Can they buy back? Neither one can. This is a 5 versus 3 right now in favor of the Legion team. The only thing that was really used right there was the seismic slam from Rally, and that is a fairly short cooldown. The middle tower is going to fall right there. The melee racks being gone on Eruption being channeled by Magnus. They know this is pretty much it right here. He jumps in, but the Stone Eye from Predator. Artillery barrage from Artillery getting away. The energy field, not the best of placements, kind of blocking them out, I guess. It doesn't really catch anybody, though. And it will eventually fall right here. But again, the melee rats very susceptible. Bubbles jumps up with the kill, but they're trying to delay the inevitable. It will end up falling, though. Bubbles needs to be careful. Take over. Again, the Stone Eye clutch from Predator. Avoids that stuff from Magnus. Oh, look at him just tear everyone up. We could be seeing the GGs coming out shortly here. And we will very likely be moving on to a game number 3, pending some miraculous comeback at this point. I mean, Artillery does have buyback, but
Pending a power disconnect, yeah, we're gonna see a game 3, Breaky. This Predator's absolutely off the hook. I cannot. Off the wall. I cannot. No. No way did I expect to see him to grow up to be such a heavy hitter in this game. I mean, I thought they were, for the longest time, I felt like BLZN just kept leaving holes in their gameplay. I felt like they just kept allowing the Artillery to keep farming up. They were losing on some of those exchanges or just breaking even while Artillery was free farming. Did not seem to matter in the end. All it took off was that it was the bottom fight. It was the bottom fight where Artillery, he went in. Who was he chasing in the end?
Engineer.
He was chasing the Engineer.
Oh, it was Wretched Hag.
Wretched Hag, and then Engineer was waiting, right? And he activated.
No, he killed. That was in the initial. The one right here was he's chasing Engineer, who hid in the jungle, and that's where.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
in,
completed that turnaround. Yeah, he had his team ready to wait, and from there, he just has not had any room to get back into this game.
Yeah, this has been no doubt a fun game to watch, and. Knowing that couldn't possibly mean a game number 3, pretty cool as well. So BLZN looking strong. Obviously, LEFU making a point that it ain't over just yet. They still have a 560 goal per minute artillery, and that does have to mean for something. But
and at this point, yeah, Predator can upgrade some of his items a little bit, but he is pretty much fully stacked.
Maxed out,
yeah, I mean, he can start replacing items like his Brutalizer for an upgrade if he wants like a Savage Base. He can get crits if he wants. He can get rid of his Insanitarius, honestly, at this point. Yeah. He should get rid of his Insanitarius at this point, get maybe a higher tier damage item.
He's not even keeping it on, which is kind of disappointing. I would like to see him just have it on the whole time.
Just sort of, yeah. He is activating whenever he uses it, though, so.
Of course, yeah. Well, he does have 5,000 gold saved up. Obviously, buyback in a situation like this. Artillery did buy back that last fight, by the way. So he spent a hefty amount there, as well as using one of his 2 buybacks, of course, but. Approaching now 42 minutes into this game, and our Hellborn team and LEFU gonna see what they can do as far as continuing so farm here. And again, they really still want a Ninja Conqueror. That clearly is obvious, but as long as that war decided there, this could be a chance. Predator gets caught right here. Artillery barrage. Predator dropping fairly quickly. Eruption coming out. There's a Stone Hide though, and immediately it goes on a Torturer. Torturer is starting to drop. Can't chase him down though. Getting kited. In the background comes the rest of the team support. The Wretched Hag. Engineer comes with the energy field. Rally doing his thing with the seismic slam. Locking down Artillery. Everyone falling apart. Predator stays alive. A genocide. 5 for nothing. And well, if it wasn't over already, it is 100% over now. I mean, that was an opportunity for sure, but they just could not finish off the Predator.
Yeah, even if they killed the Predator at the point, you just saw just how tanky he was. His team came in response. A pick off there. They would need to do that a few more times. Respect to both teams. That was an amazing second game.
Yeah.
Both showcasing their stuff in each side of the series, and we'll see who's right on the poll coming up in Game 3, Breaky.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. A fun finish indeed between these two teams. So, as you said, yeah, the poll, the majority was wrong in the end. Going for the 2-0 for LEFU.
Right, so second place did state that BLZN would come back 2 games to 1. And, I mentioned before, I thought BLZN's main problem, I thought they played phenomenally in Game 1. I thought the problem was in their draft. I didn't think they had the lineup it took in order to beat Team LEFU. So at this point, they fixed up that hole. They banned out Master of Arms, even though they had a Master of Arms rally combination for themselves. They had a strat they wanted to run. And going into Game 3 here, I don't think they'll fall into the same trap.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see game number 3. Going to take a short break here as always. We'll be right back, though. Our final game of the day here from the round of 64. We're having some fun, man. Round of 64 here for the DreamHack Summer Qualifier. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.